5 very short preliminary forwards. First, to welcome you as the President of the Parliament and the Prime Minister have already done it earlier on, to Lisbon. Today, more than ever, Atlantic capital of Europe, recognized transatlantic bridge, a very ecumenical platform between oceans, continents, cultures, and civilizations. Second, to congratulate all the speakers for their rich and diverse contributions, enabling strategic thinking and policy making of NATO Parliamentary Assembly. Third, to thank the Secretary General, Jens Stoltenberg, whom I recently had the honor of invite to attend a meeting of the Portuguese Council of State, for his clever, steady, resilient and reliable leadership in such a complex and unpredictable time in global geopolitics. Fourth, to stress the very symbolic presence of the Speaker of the House of Representatives of the United States of America Congress, Nancy Pelosi, who did not forget to speak of women's intervention and role in NATO and in the world. Symbolic as a political commitment of American legislators to NATO, and as a gesture of profound cooperation with all allies, parliaments, and representatives of the Euro-Atlantic people. Fifth, to recall Portugal's long-lasting, immutable loyalty to NATO, founding member in 49, and from 55 in this assembly, active player in drafting every strategic concept, ally in good and bad times, supportive of all decisions and dependable for all missions, military and peacekeeping until now and forever, not depending upon presidents, parliamentary majorities or governments. Mr. Chairman, Excellencies, in a complex and difficult time of multipolarism without multilateralism, dangerous erosion of democracies, limited initial response of international organizations and states to the pandemic crisis, asymmetric recovery of economies and societies, and also recent internal different approaches and embarrassing, not to say the least, fallout of Afghanistan, with insufficient dialogue amongst allies, we must be able to send strong and clear messages now and mostly in Madrid. First one, a strong and clear message of cohesion, unity and solidarity, based on our values, freedom and democracy. NATO needs it, the world needs it. Second, a strong and clear message on the parameters to continue to address the challenges posed by a more assertive Russian Federation, namely in energy, particularly gas, cyber, and political issues to the Euro-Atlantic and Euro-African areas. Reality imposes it, present balance of power advises it. Third, a strong and clear message on the active perception of new threats of terrorism to international peace and stability, with direct and indirect effects in Euro-Atlantic geostrategic space. Any stable international order makes it an unavoidable priority, and withdrawal from Afghanistan, leaving human rights at stake and uncertain situations behind, could upgrade this priority. Fourth, a strong and clear message on a renewed challenge called China, defining fields of dissent, fields of competition, and fields of selective dialogue and engagement. Future, and who knows how rapid, bipolarization inside the multipolarism calls for it. Fifth, a strong and clear message of recognition of the vital role of all NATO's partnerships, reconciling NATO regional vocation with surroundings and neighborhoods, but also with global focus. This is true in the western, northern, and eastern flanks, as it is more and more in the southern flank. Sahel, Central Africa, other vulnerable and stateless territories. This meaning Africa, now and in the future, as an epicenter of Islamic terrorism, with the Russian Federation back there. Mr. Chairman, Excellencies, allow me just to develop two key ideas of our so much needed first message: cohesion, unity, and solidarity. First, the relationship between NATO and the European Union. Europe and the United States have walked side by side in the stability of liberal order, in the successful expansion of democracies, in regulating economic and technological globalization, in managing the international peace and security environment, even with ups and downs in climate issue. The success of this alliance over the last 7 decades can be measured by the economic and social development of its people, the consolidation of their democratic systems, the empowerment of multilateral organizations, the strengthened institutional dynamics which we are resistant to more aggressive shocks and competition. NATO has successfully resisted all this while enabling the formation and enlargement of the European Union. We must not forget it. We owe a lot to NATO when speaking of European Union. So there is no reason why we should be tempted to weaken this transatlantic link, when what really matters is to strengthen it, reinventing answers to new common problems, not mistaking arrogance for power, nor illusory self-sufficiency for aspirations of regional autonomy or need of a stronger European pillar. Improving our information and our forecasting capacity, in particular where we have intervened and have intervened for a long time, like Afghanistan. Realigning positions when some try to divide us, and bringing institutions closer to citizens. This is where my comment is directed precisely to this Parliamentary Assembly. Discreet but precious. And this is the second key idea. I look at NATO not only as the most solid military alliance in history, but also as the most consistent pluralist security community in living memory. This political, ideological dimension largely explains the durability of the Atlantic Alliance and the phases of reconfiguration through which it has gone. The truth, the matter is that we, allies and other partners, have been able to build similar political systems, drivers of deeper and more enduring rapprochement, based on mutual trust and on internal political and economic procedures with which we identify. We are linked by a we feeling, a sense of solidarity and collective identity. NATO has ended up reflecting the advantage to its own longevity of incorporating both democracies with solid, long-lasting parliaments and new democracies, while solidifying the foundations of those same domestic political systems. But beware, if political systems, as it is already happening, are not nurtured and adjusted to the new challenges, or they do not address inequality and lack of economic and social cohesion, they become obsolete and leave voids where radicalism or anti-system populism can naturally enter, sometimes with so-called illiberal democratic messages that are not democratic at all, or simply the distancing of peoples, their selfishness, their xenophobia, their indifference. And no alliance, however strong it may be, can succeed without the support of its people. I end as I began, valuing the pluralism of your working sessions, the interdisciplinary nature of the strategic thinking here, the commitment of all parliaments and parliamentarians to concerted solutions, mature decisions, and collective forward-looking paths. NATO, which has given so much to democracies and collective security, needs this plural and multilateral trajectory to be reinforced. We all have a shared responsibility to deliver here in Madrid in the future. It is our democracies that will become stronger. It is our peoples who will be freer. Thank you.